Is this the best signature dining at Disney World?
Princess and the Bear, today we're at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge Jumbo House because it's time to go to the cooking place.
Jiko.
Yes, it's time to return because obviously there's new things for us to investigate as your number one choice of food and infotainment. We do these things so you don't have to. So remember, she's vegan. I'm not. That's looking like a pool back there.
It's time to foodie and chill.
Here we have the world famous, and when I say world famous, I mean Disney world famous, Jiko Giraffe bread. I feel like every single time we come here, I learn something new about this restaurant. Is that in order to get this shape, which is meant to invoke the memories of a reticulated giraffe, which you can see right outside the restaurant, at the back at the little, behind the pool, they put flour on it, like the last little bit of it cooking, and that's what you get the broken sort of like giraffe pattern on top. Unfortunately for the princess, it is not vegan. It means I have to eat this whole thing by myself. I know, so sad for me, feel terrible for me. I wish she could have it, because honestly, as a bread lover, she'd probably love this more than I do. A little bit of the butter, a little ash salt on top. It's really hard to describe just how good this bread is every single time we come here. It's soft, it's got a nice crust on it, but without feeling like it fell apart, like too warm on the inside. It's given like a better, like an African version of a Parker House roll with like that hint of earthiness to it. I love it. This is a 4.5 out of 5 claws. This is still one of the best breads on property. That's why we ranked it so high on our Walt Disney World bread ranking, bread service ranking.
My Chef Mike bread is here. It is mostly cold and comes with olive oil, even though right down the way at Boma they have earth balance butter, but for some reason they just don't carry it here at GQ, so I'm stuck with olive oil. This is sad, and I'm not eating a lot of this, so. Tastes like tough, chewy allergy bread with a very olive-forward olive oil. I just don't understand why they don't have the same bread service as Boma. I would give it a 2 out of 5 breads. It does not give good bread, and I would not want to tell any. I would probably do the walk of shame if anybody found out that I ate this bread.
Gluten-free allergy roll, consistent and reliable. Those are 2 positive things I can say about it. It is always the same. Varying levels of warm. Ooh, that's a chew. That's a workout. My jaw feels like it did not skip its weight today. It's bread. It's gluten-free bread. Again, I'm glad that it exists, but I feel like you can do better for the gluten-free people. I really do. Give that 2.5 out of 5 plus.
This is the new spiced carrot soup that replaces our beautiful white bean soup. I loved that soup, but here we go with another thing with some fixins. We got some pomegranate seeds. I'm not mad at all these extras here. It does look hot, and I gotta tell you guys, it smells herbaceous AF. Like garam masala knows what's up. Wow. I'll tell you one thing. This soup belongs at Jiko. The theming of this soup is like so perfect. It's so on point. Literally, I get spiced carrot. I have beautiful nuts. Nice little pomegranate tang. This is, if I'm at a loss for words because the balance of this soup is so perfect. I have no way to describe this. I obsessed over that white bean soup. And I don't think this is better than the white bean soup, but I still love this soup enough to give it a 5 out of 5. It is a Princessities item. If you like something that's like herbaceous and interesting and thought-provoking, this is a soup for you. It's really good.
I just love the color palette of this. This looks like something you would see in like a screenshot of like Zootopia or The Lion King, just like the colors, the way it's displayed. This is like a photograph. You have like the focal point and then the soup and the bowl. Like, it is a nice, pretty picture. It's an aesthetic, as we say. Go ahead and get some of the slices of carrot in here. You have the pomegranate. All these amazing touches. And this, you haven't even eaten it yet. Honestly, this is one of those soups that like hits all the senses. The touch, the taste, sight, sound. Here, I'm forgetting one. There's only 4.
Sight, sound, taste, touch.
Honestly, it's amazing. The earthy flavors, the sweetness of the carrot goes well with the pomegranate and the other fixings. You got a little bit of additions in there help with like texture. So it's not just soup. The soup by itself, especially when it's like a pureed based soup, like the carrot, can get a little boring on its own. But when you have a little texture to break that up, this elevates the whole game. And you have that flavor of the carrot, nice and savory, like hanging in your mouth. This is creamy as any soup I've ever had, but vegan. I like it. Give that 4.75 out of 5 points.
Do you get sweet potato vibes at all?
I get like butternut squash and not sweet potato vibes.
That's fair.
But it's a good mix. I like it. This is a soup I would have on the rare Florida cold day. So here we have the Malata mussels. This is an appetizer. You have these cooked mussels with the fixings. You have some peanuts and everything else in here, some spinach leaves, little bread crispies. They give you a little bowl to drop your shells in and a little mussel fork so you can do all the hard work of digging this stuff out of here. Mussels is one of those really weird foods to me. It's like, it's good. It tastes amazing most times. But is the juice worth the squeeze? It's a lot of work sometimes, and sometimes very messy, to dig all this meat out of here with just a tiny fork. As you can see me struggle here, it ain't easy. You get messy. All of this just to put it on a little crostini that's been like soaked in the broth. Just lay it on top like there, and eat a little bit as a cracker on top. It's given land and sea. We're getting like very much the mussel flavor, but the seasoning sort of cut through what you get, that sharp ocean flavor, and the peanuts ground it. So you get like a nice seafood from the mussels and then earth from the peanuts, and somehow it just works. It's not super overpowering like you would expect some shellfish to be, and honestly, it makes a good app. I feel like this is one that I would normally share, but if you wanted to, you could eat this entire thing and not fill up. But the flavor is excellent, like everything else we expect from Jiko. That 4.25 out of 5 plus.
It's going to be topped with our beautiful mushroom house broth.
The most beautiful dumplings you will find on property. Look at how they are filled. Some of them with, collard greens. It's mostly collard greens, but this little bite doesn't have as much collard greens. I'm also going to grab some of this pickled onion and some of this sun-dried tomato to make a more complete and delicious bite. All of those flavors together are so amazing. I think you have to have it with the pickled onion to get like a nice little bright burst in your mouth. The dumpling themselves are a little al dente for my taste. I would have stood like maybe a little more 30-second cook on them. But the broth is incredible. For somebody that's not a big mushroom person, I love this. And I love everything about this. So I'm going to give it a 3.75 out of 5 dumplings. It's only getting minus points because the cook is just a little too al dente for my taste, but I've had dumplings from here before that are better, like have a better cook than this, that like really just are stand out. So even though these ones aren't 100, you gotta get these because they're good. Usually.
These Sukuma dumplings. They remind me of the Sukuma Wiki you can get at Sanaa, but collard greens inside dumpling. That is a thing of magic. And it's the kind of magic we actually care about, like foodie magic. That mushroom broth is really subtle, but it really does wonders. With the pickled onion, you get a nice bit of tart. It sort of helps with the sort of earthiness you get from collard greens. Just like normally you would put like vinegar in collard greens. The pickled onions handles that sort of acidity. It just evens things out. Excellent flavor. If I ever find a place that like sells pre-made collard green dumplings, I'm probably in trouble. And at that point, you might want to have me committed to some sort of program. I give that 4.5 out of 5 claws. Here we have a dish that has evolved since the last time that I got it. This is the Diver's Scallop with pork belly. Last time we got it, or I got it here, obviously because it's not vegan, it was a Diver's Scallop with snails. So, pork belly, obviously not snails, but the seasoning is what really caught me because it is a Sumac-roasted pork belly, which speaks to the princess culture wholeheartedly. And they have mustard seed caviar up here with a corn cream base, and then like thick roasted scallop. This is getting me excited. It's cut right into that delicate little beastie. Looks well cooked, not overcooked, not rubbery. Slices right in half. A little bit of that pork belly, and I want some of this supposed mustard seed caviar. Load that all up on one fork. And ship it express right into my mouth. I really can't tell what melts in my mouth easier, the pork belly or the scallop. That cream corn base is like, I know people think cream corn, you're like the disgusting cream corn like you get in like the can at like Walmart when your parents used to feed you when it was like an off-day week. This is like corn, like a sweet corn puree, and like the mustard caviar is like almost like a pickled mustard seed sort of deal that gives it a nice little tart that goes well with the earthiness of that sumac roast in the pork belly. Excellent dish. Excellent. This is a foodie masterpiece. That's a 5 out of 5 claws. It's on the Bear Necessities list. I did actually like the one with the snails last time, but this is perfection.
The evolution of the salad. It's always a crescent moon and it's always looking interesting. But this one is like a little more calorific. I don't know. We got all these dried things. I'm a little intimidated by the salad. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot going on here, and it's not what I usually expect from this. I just want usually extra Baobab salt because Baobab is life. And bay and everything, but I guess I'm just gonna take an oversized lettuce bite if I can fork it. If I can believe it, I can do it. Oh. Oh my gosh. Where did the spice come from? When did this salad get spicy? Because I am like, 5 out of 10 on the heat scale. My mouth is like, Baobab is not like this. Baobab is sweet. I don't know what is happening with this salad. It's nice, but oh my goodness, is it spicy. And not the way that I expected. It's very refreshing and light and bright with a kick. I will give it 4 out of 5 salads. It does toss my salad, but why is it always on one side? I guess it's part of the witch's road.
Return to the Baobab salad. It's a bit less chopped than before, but still looking beautiful. You got nice colors going on here with the different things. You got some carrots, tomatoes, this beautifully colored lettuce in here with this dressing. So I'm gonna give it a little chop because My mouth is slightly smaller than the princess's, so I can't go stuffing big things of lettuce in there. I can't. I definitely bigger mouth. Either way. How about some other? Can I get? Clearly, she's not the other one, only one struggling here.
Fruits and stuff too. One of these like
Mandarin oranges.
Yeah.
Apples.
Yeah, get one
Spices.
of these. Get one of them. Here you go. Yeah, get some flavor in there.
There we
you
go.
go.
There we go. A little bit of, I don't know what it is. My tongue tickles a little bit. In the front, I wouldn't call it spice, but it tickles. Now, for level set, I am basically dead inside when it comes to spice. Even like when we're cooking at home, I have to bring the princess multiple samples of whatever we're cooking to make sure that I didn't overspice it because I just cannot taste it. Years of exposure to ridiculous hot sauce has ruined my sort of like feeling of detection of spice. So I'm literally getting like a 0.25 out of 10 on the spice scale. Like I know that it's there. I can feel the tingle, but it's just a tingle. It's like a Peter tingle. At the princess's behest, I tried a second bite with no fruit, thinking that maybe the sugars in the fruit sort of muted the spice. Now my lip tingles a little bit. I'm keeping the same 0.25 out of 10 on the heat scale. It's just not spicy.
That is why you fail.
It is. It truly is.
One of my favorite things to do here at Jiko is get tofu. It's never on the menu, but it always seems to be available. This is my third time getting tofu here at Jiko. The last couple times it's been the modified chicken dish, which I did this time again, but there's also like a sirloin, short rib dish that you can get made vegan as well. So it really just depends on what kind of like extras that you want. I wanted the beans, so I got the beans. And can I just say this is the most beautiful tofu dish I've ever received, with medallion tofu squares and all these extras. So I'm excited because last time I had this dish, it was not with all these beans and things and this gorgeous mustard and these gorgeous medallions, and I'm just so excited. This is giving me like celebrating soulfully ragu elevated. Okay. Cheers to everybody watching this video. We love and appreciate you. The tofu is not blackened. It's seasoned. Kumquat is beautifully flavored, like it was last time, but more so, I think. Because last time with the kumquats, we had like a rice, and this time we have like a ragu, and I think the ragu looks way better. I've never seen tofu medallions before, and I'm obsessed with them. Like, this is my new thing that I want in my life all of the time. Something about ordering tofu at Disney is always inspiring something new in the kitchen for me at home. This is a 5 out of 5. This is a Princessities item. I don't like getting the injera basket here because I am spoiled with Nile Ethiopian and Salem, but I don't know. If you've never had it before, I think you should try it. If not, try to get the tofu dish because, oh my god, this is amazing.
As foodies who often cook at home, Disney gives us a lot of ideas. Chef Eddie here at Jiko raised an interesting question. With all the shapes in the world, why do we always cube tofu? Why is it always some like square or rectangle or like a strip? Other shapes exist. So why not circles, triangles, octagons? I don't know. But interesting that medallion was the shape that was chosen. You see the mustard seed in here, the kumquat, you have the little turnips. This looks straight from the savannah. I'm going to eat all the princess tofu, but I'm going to take a little cross section. Even though it's just like a seared on seasoning, that looks beautiful. Beautimous, if you will. And it's going to get a very nice home inside my stomach. The way that seasoning mix on top of the tofu pairs with like the earthiness of like that bean ragu, it just soars. It feels like gliding across the savannah on top of an elk while carrying a baby tiger. I don't know. Either way, that tastes amazing. That flavor hangs in your mouth. That is a flavor experience. The chefs at Disney do not frequently get enough credit for the things they're able to do. Disney, you need to let them work their magic more. You give them the time. And they create amazing mouthfuls of art. Give that 5 out of 5 claws. This should be on the menu. Hurry. I have had many a thing here, and yet Jiko never fails to surprise me with something that looks amazing. I got the Moroccan spiced lamb shank. You have this beautiful looking lamb shank roasted with a pomegranate glaze. You have a Nepali mash with a pomegranate relish on here, a little bit of fixins on the side. This thing looks like it's just ready to fall off this bone like so many clothes at so many Florida strip clubs. I will not explain that any further. We're going to dive right in. I want it all. Not the tree branch, but I want it all. I worry with fruit-based glazes, they're going to be too sweet. Pomegranate, being the fruit that it is, strikes a nice balance of giving it that savory, sweet balance without going overboard. Nepali mash pairs well with it. I haven't had a shank that I enjoyed so much just having it in my mouth. This pork shank that I had at Maya Grill with the sweet potato mash, it's a very similar construction. It's different meat and different mash, but the same sort of balance of like that nice savory shank flavor with the mash. It's given African surprise. Like pounding the drums with the Africa face, but less racist. I love this. Tasty, delicious. I give that 4.75 out of 5 paws. Honestly, I had my doubts. Now I feel bad for doubting.
I got the injera basket, so I'm starting with this chickpea concoction here. Looks like a delicious little chickpea wok. I'm gonna put on this injera. I don't usually use silverware with injera, but this isn't a typical injera. It's not as authentic. It's a little more Americanized for Disney, and that's fine. Cheers. Really sweet, like SpaghettiOs sweet. Like good if you want like a sweet thing, but if you're expecting like some sort of African thing, this is super watered down. I would give it a 4 out of 5 chickpeas. It's tasty, but it's not authentic.
Injera has a special place in our heart. We love Ethiopian food. I'm glad that more people can try it because you don't often come across it depending on where you live. And you could literally just be missing out. If you do crave some authentic Ethiopian food, go see our friends, Nal Ethiopian. This is not sponsored, but they're like family. If you don't treat them well, I know the owner's mother, and I will find you. Till then, come here to Jiko and try it. And the sweetness there, almost like dessert chickpeas. I don't think I've ever tried dessert chickpeas. Now I want to experiment. I'd say really good earthy flavor. And they're like well-roasted chickpeas, so they're not mush. And I think that gives it a nice texture between the injera and chickpeas itself. I would give that 4.25 out of 5 paws.
So here we have the yellow lentils. Put that on the special injera. And let's just see how it compares to the Nile that we appreciate and love. Cheers. It's very flavorful and tasty. I love what the kitchen team is doing with these lentils. It's a great introductory into this type of food genre. I think if you are a little senior like Bear and I, and you have had a lot of African food, you may not be as interested in this, but if it's your first, second, or third time trying African food, you might really enjoy it. And that's totally the point. That opens a door into trying more of those types of foods in your local area. So please, come to Disney, try it, sample it, see if you like it. If you like it, when you go home, go to your local area and try to find some of these types of food genres. And then support that local food place, because they have some amazing flavors that you may not know about. You just need to open that door and you'll be so appreciative of the fact that you did. So really just try something new and you never know what might hit you. That is a 4.75 out of 5 lentils. That is amazing, and I think that if you are new to Ethiopian food, you would really appreciate it.
Normally, if you got Ethiopian food, you wouldn't have like plates and bowls. They would normally serve it to you on something like this, or like a very wide plate with the injera on the bottom as like a base, covering your plate. And you just take a little piece on the side or wherever you want to, rip it off, and you just go ahead and get you in here. Give it a little 3-finger action there. Boom. A little lentil injera taco. Well-cooked lentils. Tasty, flavorful punch. Lentils are like literally a part of like our weekly diet at home. Very tasty, very easy to cook. Very like simple meal. If you want something for dinner, you're doing it well here. 4.5 out of 5 balls. We're gonna go for an injera bonus round of these nice stewed mushrooms. Not the princess's favorite, so I can understand it. We don't all like dirt rooms. We're not the Mario Brothers. Just mouthful. Wonderfully fragrant. Mushrooms like their best way. You know when you get that nice coconut mushroom and those like flavors sort of like infiltrate your nose and like the back of your throat? That's where those sit. Nice and savory, not too earthy. It definitely like seasons the sharpness out of it. Very good there. This basket is one of the top tier plant-based meals on property. If you were looking for a challenge just to expand your foodie palate as a vegan, I always, and this is coming from obviously a non-vegan, recommend Ethiopian food. Most of it either is vegan as is or can be easily modified to be vegan. And gluten-free, just dive right in. Dive right in. This whole thing, 5 out of 5 claws for me. It is a perfect plate. It may look like a bunch of like small portions, but trust me, after this, you will be full. And if you run out of injera, do not be afraid to ask for more. They will bring you another little container. So this wonderful looking slab of fishy deliciousness is a sustainable fish for the night. It is a Alaskan halibut. When you said Alaskan halibut in the same sentence, all of a sudden I was sold because it reminds me of home. Having spent some years living there myself, and my little brother, let's call him Baby Bear, was born there. So you have a Alaskan halibut on top of a black rice and mushroom ragu. You have some green garden silk in here as well. It looks tasty. On this plate of, this isn't like part of the main, it's not like an ash or anything like that, it's just the design of the plate. It's misleading, I know, but it's just a fish. So we're gonna cut off a little corner here. Ooh. The outside is nice and crispy, nice and flaky. I don't get excited about many things, but halibut is definitely one of them. I was concerned before I bit into this because the sustainable fish for right now has lemon oil in it, and the last time we saw lemon oil in this, well, we actually didn't see lemon oil in the description of this. Last time we had lemon oil was at Lombard's, and we don't talk about Lombard's. But let's go ahead and try this with some of this mushroom and black rice ragu, and a little bit of that green silk sauce down there. The way the black rice is seasoned, and black rice can be sort of a strong flavor, and the mushroom ragu, it's given like a sort of land and sea type flavor. Like you have the sea, obviously from the halibut, and then like the land. You have like an earthiness, but not like overpoweringly. It pairs very well with like the very rich flavor of the fish. It's excellent. Now, the last time I had halibut was at Le Cellier before they changed the menu, and I loved it. Like eyes rolled back in head. that level of love. This is great. Not as great as that halibut, but still very good. I give this 4.75 out of 5 claws. Halibut all day, every day.
I wanted to get a pinotage that I haven't always ordered. I usually default to Painted Wolf, which is still not on the menu here for some odd reason, even though I can get it at other locations pretty close to proximity to this restaurant. And then in addition to that, my second choice is usually Groot Constantina. But this time I decided to try the Lively, I think that's how you say it, wine, which oddly enough is on theme for today because it is actually Valentine's Day when we are filming this, and there's a little Cupid guy on the bottle of the wine. So unintentionally, Loveland wine. Cheers to love. I really like this pinotage. It's a lot lighter than some of the other ones that we've had before. It's very like bright and crisp, and it kind of gives me like the light airiness that you would expect from a white wine, but this is a red, so it's very interesting, very thought-provoking, and I'm not upset at this wine at all. I would give it a 4 out of 5 wines. It makes me feel super fine.
No, as many times as I looked at the date today, I did actually forget that it was Valentine's Day. Don't worry, the princess is still getting treats. But wine on Valentine's Day just feels that we're just putting our money where our mouth is. That Jiko is one of the ultimate date night restaurants on Walt Disney World property. If you get the opportunity to treat yourself, I don't care what day it is, you cannot go wrong. Ooh. The aromas and the character of that wine is like a nice steamy romance novel. Get you like right up here, get you euphoric feeling of the sweet, tart fruits, a little bit of cherry there at the front. But the pinotages always have like a certain character to them. If we were like hardcore wine people, we would have a cellar full of pinotages of rare vintages. Probably on adventures with whips and hats. And I don't watch indie for some reason. Don't mind me. I'm on a tangent. Give it 4.5 out of 5 plus.
Sir, this is a family channel.
Because I mentioned whips and indie? Here we have the African Star Mojito. Not a Jiko specific specialty drink. You can find this all around Animal Kingdom Lodge, but it's something that I don't normally order. And I've had a lot of things on the menu. I get the Kanu Old Fashioned almost every time I come here, but I'm not feeling something as powerful as an Old Fashioned day. I feel like somebody in my ancestors are whispering in my ears, go easy on the bourbon today. So I'm going to listen to them. That's what we do. Listen to your ancestors. Well, some of you. The rest of you, you should probably ignore your ancestors. Ooh. So a nice orange liqueur in there with the mint. It's not overpowering. It's a nice sipping, relaxing beverage. I'd give that 4 out of 5 claws. We are never disappointed in Jiko, like ever.
I would say, even though there's California Grill and Narcoossee's and Citricoast and Victorian Albert's, we, at the end of the day, would pick Jiko over all other signature dining restaurants.
She's not wrong. Honestly, she's not wrong. It's very, very... Actually, it's never happened that we've got anything here we don't like. And the experience every time is amazing. It's the cast members, the cooks, the chefs. Yeah,
amazing.
Great. Plus, you get to walk and see animals after dinner. So...
And then you have animals before and after your meal. Like, how can you go wrong?
They continue to elevate the menu every time it's updated. Of course, next time it updates, we will get back in a
that's very
reasonable amount of time.
It's updating very soon, so we'll be back soon-ish.
Either way, we know what you guys think about Jiko in the comments below. I know a lot of you would say, "Oh, let's go to Boathouse for dinner. Let's go to Paddlefish for dinner." No, I need to know why you don't come here in the comments below. Hit the notification bell if you want to see other videos like this, and
we have new videos 5 days a week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
We'll see you soon.
sure to subscribe and like this video. And if you don't comment, Bear might eat himself into a giraffe. And then what's a giraffe with you?
I'm gonna learn to ride a giraffe, but you heard the girl.